Welcome back, everyone, and I'm here again with Jeff Grant, SBR contributor, and today we're going to be looking at that college football game between Iowa Hawkeyes and Pittsburgh Panthers. How you doing this morning, Jeff?
Doing great, Dax. An exciting matchup between a Big Ten conference opponent and an ACC foe, and the betting action has landed on the Panthers early, but I'm going to look at the total as we discuss this game.
All right, so Jeff, considering that the Hawkeyes are coming off a pretty disappointing 17-20 loss against in-state rival Iowa State, and they're also going for their first road game, do you think that longtime Hawkeye head coach Kirk Ferentz could actually get the team rallied up for that particular game?
It's going to be difficult, but I think there's some things that handicappers need to look at in the fact that the Hawkeyes are in a bounce-back situation, and the main one is Ferentz basically scheduled this game because he went to high school in the Pittsburgh area, and he has previous ties with Pittsburgh, and the fact that he is a graduate assistant in 1980 for the Pitt program. So I think he'll be able to rally the troops. It's not very often that the Hawkeyes lose such a game as a double-digit favorite, but when they do, they often come back and win and stay under the total.
All right, now being the case that you mentioned Pittsburgh in this case, let's talk about their running back, James Conner. Now, I actually think that he's pretty much emerged as a Heisman Trophy contender with the fact that he's rushed 544 yards in his first 3 games. Now, Jeff, do you actually think he's going to be able to continue to put up those type of big numbers the rest of the year?
This is a really tough spot for Pittsburgh to lean on Conner. Third-year head coach Paul Chryst has mentioned that he is one of those guys that you can give the ball to 30 or more times a game without a problem. The problem with that, I was reading into running backs that have such high carry numbers in the first part of the season, especially in September, they often drop off. And we covered the Pittsburgh-Florida International game last week, Dax, and we covered that game with FIU. Conner really allowed the Panthers to overcome an early 16-0 deficit. But the problem with that, he's such a big back, and it was hot and humid in the Miami area, and now he's going to be taking on a Big Ten opponent that's known to stopping good running backs in the Big Ten Conference. So I think he's going to have a difficult time here, but I do expect Conner to stay in the Heisman Trophy discussion for the rest of the year.
Well, they might be burning him out a little too early, I would say. But anyways, I think it's also important to mention the fact that the Panthers have scored 30 or more points in their last 5 games dating back to last year. So taking that factor into account, do you think that the Hawkeyes will be able to stop one of the best offenses in the country?
The Panthers are very talented offensively. Paul Chryst finally has the personnel that he's wanted. He was the previous offensive coordinator at Wisconsin from 2006 to 2011. So what I did in handicapping this game wasn't quite sure on the side. So I started looking at the total, and I started looking at Paul Chryst's Wisconsin teams from an offensive standpoint against Iowa, Dax. And what I found in 5 meetings, while Chryst was at Wisconsin running that offense as the coordinator against Ferentz's defense at Iowa, averaged just 18 points per game. And that is significant because Wisconsin, over the last decade, has had one of the better offenses in the Big Ten and nationally. So it is a relevant way of looking at the game. And also, the Iowa Hawkeyes have gone to the under very consistently when playing away from Iowa City.
So that means that we're going to be getting an under bet on this early lean?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the under here. I do think that Conner is going to have to split carries with some players, and the quarterback for Pittsburgh, if he can't rely on Conner, it makes things difficult for him. He did not fare well against FIU, and Iowa's defense is much better than FIU, and also Iowa will have no problem going on the road. This is something that Ferentz has done for more than almost 2 decades now. He's been there for about 16 years as the head coach of Iowa, so I think this one stays under the total.
All right, good stuff, my man. Thank you once again for your valuable insights, and we'll talk some more football again tomorrow.
Thank you.
And for SBR Picks, this is Dax Floyd.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.